So you can explain Surah Hud verse 48. Surah Hud verse 48. I will read. Surah Hud verse 48.
48. First tell me what it is. Yes, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال ربي إني أعوذ بك أن أسألك ما ليس لي به علم وإلا تغفر لي وترحمني أكن من الخاسرين.
Why didn't you read the previous verses so that the context could become clear for the listeners? Because all Muslims do not know the Quran as you do. So to help them, read a few verses before.
Surah Hud
48?
48.
48, yes. My daughter was telling me that you helped her a lot yesterday, making arrangements for the party. Is it right? You're very happy. And she told me you have a very good taste for these things, mashallah. This verse, relates to the flood of Noah. And when he saw his son drowned in one mounting wave, which just separated him and the son forever, it was the outcry of anguish at that time to which you referred in that verse. So I wanted to tell everybody the background of all this. That is why I said we must read the verses before. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ونادى نوح ربه فقال رب إن ابني من أهلي وإن وعدك الحق وأنت أحكم الحاكمين قال يا نوح إنه ليس من أهلك إنه عمل غير صالح فلا تسألني ما ليس لك به علم إني أعظك أن تكون من الجاهلين. قال رب إني أعوذ بك. This is the verse which you just recited, but this is the context of the whole verse. قال رب إني أعوذ بك أن أسألك ما ليس لي به علم وإلا تغفر لي وترحمني أكن من الخاسرين. These are the verses. And now you please explain things to the listeners, and then we'll return to the question and answer. This verse throws light on very important things which are useful in so many different ways. And I'm glad that you asked about this verse, because the messages it delivers are very potent and they are eternal. They are for every age. First, the message which is delivered here is that when the son of Noah was drowned in his sight, the first thought of Noah was that God had promised him that he and his Ehel would be saved. And he knew him to be his son, and as such he should be his Ehel. So what God responded was, إِنَّهُ لَيْسَ مِنْ أَهْلِكَ. He is not your Ehel. While Ibnuhu is referred to in the Quran, so his Ibniyat is not denied, but his Ahliyat is denied. He is referred to as the son of Noah, yet not his Ehel. So this means that the literal blood relationship does not count anything in the sight of Allah unless it becomes a spiritual relationship. So when Hazrat Noah, misunderstanding this, the implication of the promise, protested to God, "Oh God, what I'm saying, he's my son, he's being drowned in my very sight." The answer was, "Inna laysa min ahlik." Then he understood the true meaning of Ehel. In view of which this prophecy was made, this promise was vouched to him. All in the spiritual sense. So I'll come to some other useful applications of this verse later, but let me continue to build this same thing. Now again, God expressed his unhappiness or displeasure at the way Noah had protested. Despite the fact that what Noah had said, "Inna ibni min ahli wa inna wa'daka al-haq wa anta ahkamul hakimin." But he said, as I understand, my son is my ahl. He didn't say innahu ibni alone. This is very important, so that this verse may not be misinterpreted by some. It says, inna ibni min ahli. As I understand the word ahl covers children, and ibn should be included in that. God does not reject the claim that he is ibn, but rejects the claim that he is ahl. See? Qala ya Nuhu innahu laysa min ahlik. It doesn't say laysa min abnaik. So some may be misled to interpret it as if, God forbid, he was not really the son of Noah. He was the son of Noah, but the sons are not included in the word of ahl, in the religious terminology. In the religious terminology, only such abna will be included in the category of ahl who belong to the faith of the Prophet himself, or whoever it is. So spiritual relationship is what matters in the sight of Allah. And when Allah promises about ahl, it is that relationship which Allah has in mind, not just the blood relationship. That's one thing which I wanted to point out. After the translation, inshallah, I'll turn to other meanings and other important factors to be noted about this. And this is exactly what the Holy Quran refers to after this, that innahu amalun ghairu salih. It doesn't say that his amal is ghair salih. Innahu amalun ghairu salih. This is an expression which carries the meaning to the very maximum. If somebody is amalun ghairu salih, he's from top to bottom, he's a rotten man. See? Now the point is, he was still the son of a prophet, and God did not hold him responsible for the bad upbringing. So the point here, which is worthy of note for us for all time in fact to come, is that if one of the parents is very holy and pious, but the other of the parents is not, then the children of such pious people can go astray. It is very likely that they will go astray, because they receive the easier influence. So that is why the Holy Quran has pointed specifically that the wife of Noah was not a pious lady. The argument, if God had started developing it further, could have ultimately hurt Noah, because then he would be pointedly criticized by God. Why did you not divorce your wife? Why did you not take care of your wife and her conduct? Why did you bear with her? So, in a manner, it is not I who am responsible for the drowning of your son. You are, in a manner. So don't ask me questions which will lead you to such descriptions as would hurt you. This is the meaning of the verse which follows, the part of the verse which follows. So number one, to be the son of a holy person would not be a guarantee that such a son, whatever he does, he will be permitted by God to live whatever life he chooses, and he will not be brought to question, would not be criticized by, he would not be punished by God for his actions. It's against his justice. Why were the people of Noah being destroyed altogether? They were the offsprings, in fact, of Adam before Noah, wasn't burned there. But their being children of Adam did not be of any avail to them, was not of any avail to them. Because each one is answerable to his conduct here on earth, independently and regardless of to whom he is related. This is the principle which has been demonstrated so clearly and tragically in relation to what happened to Noah's son. So Allah says, Amalun ghairu salih. Now this is the big rebuke, is this Amalun ghairu salih. Where were you watching him to grow up? But it was a very serious time, and I did not want to, to embarrass Noah further. So the next address is, فَلَا تَسْأَلْنِ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ إِنِّي أَعِظُكَ أَن تَكُونَ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Don't poke your nose in matters. This is the literal translation. Don't poke your nose in matters which the consequences of which you are not aware of. It does not mean don't seek guidance from me on things which you do not know. Because if this is the meaning, then it's an absurd statement. Everybody asks for things which he does not know. So it does not mean that at all. It means it is something like the companion of Moses said to him during their journey, don't ask me questions. They're not for you, they're beyond. So let me decide what to do and what not to do, and I'll not be put to any questioning. So that also is the sense carried in this. What right have you got to question God? Not is sawal in the sense of guide me to the meaning of this or that. Sawal in the sense which has a connotation of why did you do it? Although he framed his question very respectfully and took care to say, I know you never break your promise. Yet what I see is like breaking a promise. So apparently it is not an issue of disrespect, because the words of Hazrat Noah are, وَنَادَى نُوحٌ رَبَّهُ فَقَالَ إِنِّي قال رب إني أعوذ بك أن أسألك ما ليس لي به علم. He understood this rebuke. Otherwise you said, if I don't know anything, I'll have to ask questions. So he knew what he was rebuked for. He understood. So he said, Rabbi inni a'udhu bika an as'alaka ma laysa li bihi ilmun wa illa taghfir li wa tarhamni akun min al-khasirin. So here the question does not mean about things of which you have no knowledge and you seek guidance. The prayers of the Holy Prophet are all filled with such expressions. Allahumma inni as'aluka hubbaka wa hubba man yuhibbuka, etc., etc. Sawal is not forbidden, it's not discouraged. But probe is discouraged in areas where you should keep your position and do not poke your nose into the affairs which do not belong to you, it's for God to decide. Or you will be minal khasirin or jahilin. So this is the whole thing, but there is more to it than just this. The fact is that after this rebuke was given to Hazrat Noah alayhi salatu wassalam, it was revealed in the same surah that Noah himself had prayed to God according to the instruction he had received from God, that he should not pray in favor of those who are bad in their conduct and unholy in the sight of Allah. And God told him to pray against them. So again, this was an area of ignorance for him. He had been praying for everybody who was bad except for his son. This was not fair. So Allah is so kind to him in his response and treatment. Implies his unhappiness, implies his displeasure. And although ordinary people today do not understand this, Hazrat Noah did understand. He immediately said, I seek forgiveness. So these verses are potent with most wonderful meanings and have deeper significance. One should pause over them and sink deeper into them, and then one will be overwhelmed with the beauty of the Quranic expressions.